What's up gamers, in today's video I'm going to be talking about all the characters that pair well with MUALANI. I'm going to be talking about what MUALANI does, why these characters pair well with her, how she can be slot in different teams with them, and so much more. But anyway, since I hate long intros, and I know you probably do too, let's get straight into the video. Now MUALANI already looks like one of the best characters in the entire game, and has a super strong kit which allows her to do a ton of damage. And since 99% of Genshin players want to see big fat damage numbers on the screen, I already know that most of you are pulling for her, and that's where LootBar comes in. LootBar is 100% safe and allows you to buy Genesis crystals in the shop at a discount, only requiring your UID and server. On Genshin, the price to buy this Genesis crystal pack is $100, but on LootBar, it's only $85, saving you 14 bucks. And on top of that, if you're a new user, you get 5% off. LootBar sends you your Genesis crystals through the official Hoiverse channel, and after making a purchase, expect it to arrive in 30 minutes or less, with mine arriving in only 45 seconds. Content creators like Dakaja, Jello Impact, and Teva Times have all used LootBar because it's 100% safe, so make sure to check the link in the description and pinned comments, get redirected to LootBar's official website, and get those promos ready. Thank you LootBar for sponsoring today's video. Anyway, I think it's important to start off with a quick breakdown of her kit. MUALANI is basically a Hydro DPS character that scales off HP and does nuke-worthy damage off her enhanced normal attacks. She's pretty good for exploration because she rides a shark surfboard like she's in Subway Surfers, and uses this to her advantage in combat by surfing on the enemies, getting stacks, and doing a lot of damage on her normal attacks. Her burst also just does damage. This is a very brief overview of her kit, but if you would like a more in-depth video, go watch this one later. But now, let's start with the first character that pairs amazingly well with MUALANI, Xiangling. Xiangling is one of the best characters in the entire game, and I'm still surprised that we got her for free by doing the Spiral Abyss, because she's basically a 4-star that's secretly the Pyro Archon. Wait. No, the real Pyro Archon is Bennett. Oh wait, the actual Pyro Archon is this girl. But nevertheless, the best thing about Xiangling from MUALANI is the fact that she can apply a lot of pyro through her elemental burst and her elemental skill. Because Goba just does some damage on the side and shoots out pyro on top of her Pyronado. Xiangling allows for MUALANI to vaporize some of her hits, and that basically doubles her damage, which is really good. Because Xiangling has been out for a while now and is a really strong character, people most likely have her built. And trust me, a well-built Xiangling does a lot of damage on the side. Anyways, that's it for Xiangling. Now let's talk about the next character, who is actually Furina. Everyone saw this coming. Furina is such a good character that I feel like she works with nearly every single character in the game, but of course she also works well with MUALANI. The first reason is because they are both Hydro characters, and this means they can trigger Hydro Resonance, which actually helps the both of them. See, teamwork makes the dream work. But on top of that, Furina does a lot of sub DPS damage and buffs not just MUALANI, but the entire team. Her buffs are super easy to get and are so beneficial to MUALANI, even if her damage by itself is already really good. Plus, as long as you have a good healer in the team, generating fanfare with Furina is not going to be much of a big deal. Speaking of healers, Baizhu is actually a really good healer that would help MUALANI a ton, and this is because he's able to create his own shield. Now some people might say that his shield is absolute garbage, but hey, something is better than nothing, because MUALANI doesn't really have anything that can stop her from getting tossed around a lot in combat, and Baiju's shield can make things a little bit more comfortable for all the MUALANI enjoyers. On top of that, if you're planning to play her with Furina, then Baiju's healing can help with getting fanfare, so overall I do think that Baizhu is a good character to pair with MUALANI. But if you're looking for a really strong and reliable shield, then the Geodaddy is always an option for those interested. His shield is super strong and reliable, with him also being a character probably a lot of people have, and is also super easy to build. But now for the next character who I think works well with MUALANI, and this character is none other than, well, another Archon. Nahida. Now Nahida alone is not someone I think synergizes the best with her, but when we think about it in the perspective of team building, using MUALANI, Nahida, and Xiangling together just allows for Nahida's amazing Dendro application to go well with Xiangling's amazing Pyro application and trigger the burning reaction. While enemies are burning and you also have the Xiangling Pyronado active, you will essentially be putting MUALANI in vape heaven. Well, not that type of vape, but you know what I mean. When it comes to burning the enemies alive to create fire so hot with the intent to kill your enemies and possibly yourself, Nahida and Xiangling are like peanut butter and jelly, burgers and fries, milk and cookies. They will simply just get the job done and leave everyone satisfied. Which is quite ironic I say that because Xiangling is a chef, so that's really her job. Benny Boy. Bennett is an amazing character all round because he can buff and heal. His buffs are really good even though you have to be in his burst circle, but it really isn't that hard to stay in, especially since MUALANI is going to shine the brightest in boss fights which are single target, meaning Bennett would be pretty helpful for her. He's also a pyro but doesn't apply as much pyro as someone like Xiangling, but it is still pyro, so that's why Bennett is great with MUALANI. Anyways, if you're enjoying the video, why not consider liking, subscribing, and joining my Discord down below. It's a super fun Discord server and I plan on hosting an omega huge nuclear giveaway pretty soon to celebrate the launch of Natlan and all the new characters. So if you'd like to take part in this giveaway, it literally takes only a few seconds to click the link in the description, join, and possibly win my future giveaways. I guarantee that you will love it there because of all the funny members that even created their own cult with sus names like this and this. So if you want to try and create your own sus name, the link is just rizzing you up at this point, so just join. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the next character that pairs amazingly well with MUALANI, Kazuha. Kazuha is a character that's been out for so long and is still just so good. His buffs are just so helpful and MUALANI really does appreciate them. Not only is he good at providing buffs, but he's also good at sucking up the enemies and making grouping super easy with just a snap of his finger. His grouping is great for allowing MUALANI to hit more enemies altogether because of her mainly single target oriented attacks. But let's get into a character which is for sure going to work well with her, Emily. Emily isn't even out yet by the time I'm writing this script or by the time this video is out, but we already know what she does and how helpful of a character she's going to be for more people and their accounts. We already know that Emily's whole kit is primarily focused on the burning reaction, and if you have the right team, then you can put together characters that allow for consistent burning. Nahida and Xiangling, and simply just use Emily in the team as well, and that's really just it. MUALANI will be able to vaporize most of her hits, and Emily simply just adds more damage to the team. But now for the next character, Dea. Dea is actually someone who gets a buff from MUALANI because she's now no longer going to be level 1 on your account and can finally move out of the trenches. She can help with burning, but on top of that, since MUALANI doesn't have much resistance to interruption in her kits, Dea can help provide that, as well as mitigating damage by tanking it, which is really nice. It seems like Dea has been getting a buff recently and is actually looking to be less of a useless unit now. Wow, I never thought I would say that, but I guess the world is full of many surprises. But another one of Dea's standard banner character buddies that works well with MUALANI is actually Mona. Mona is great for buffing damage and allowing characters to hit for a big nuke, which is nice for when you're trying to flex your characters in a showcase, but it really isn't the best for a lot of characters with more complicated kits. But luckily for MUALANI, she doesn't really hit as much as other characters and her basic attacks are simply just nukes, so Mona can buff them by a lot and allow for her to do much more damage, as well as the fact that both Mona and MUALANI are Hydro characters, meaning that they can both trigger Hydro Resonance, which is a nice side bonus. Next, I want to talk about Yelan. Now, Yelan is a great sub DPS character who will be able to buff MUALANI, but I wouldn't say that they're awful together. They do work together, but Yelan's kit would be much better with someone else that does a lot more normal attacks than MUALANI, such as Arlecchino, and the same thing goes with Xingqiu. They can work well with her, but not the best. And lastly, we have the two animal healers Xianyin and Jean, who are really good healers who can also buff MUALANI with a VV set, and on top of that, if they're also in a team with Furina, they can help with generating more fanfare and buffs. But anyway, that's it for today's video. Please let me know if you enjoyed, and also please consider liking, subscribing, and checking out LootBar. Thanks for watching. Bye.